We've been talking all week about friends and family and the support they provide us. And today we're going to talk about a very specific kind of person that you may have in your life. And I'm really struggling to see if I have someone like that in my life. It's the superhero. That's right. The person who takes off their shirt and they have a cape and they make, I don't even know what they do. We're going to find out from Tom in a minute because he says he has a superhero. So we're going to learn what his superhero is or who it is and whether we have one. All that and more is coming up on episode 809 of today's Antidote. Da, 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 da.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning, Bob.
I'm anxious for this one. So let's get through the celebration super fast, get through your intro super fast, rock and roll, because I don't think I have a superhero in my life, and I'm starting to think that I've got a gap.
Well, let's see. Who knows?
Okay.
Maybe you'll define it a little differently than I do. So that's
okay.
We'll see where that goes. All right, everyone. Good morning and welcome to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. Each week, Bob and I have a conversation around a topic like we do this week. Friends and family support. And then we dive deeper each day into that topic. As Bob said, we're going to be talking about your superhero in your friends and family group. And as we go through that conversation, if you have thoughts or ideas that you would like to share, please feel free to put it in the comments. And because we know it'll add value to our show. Sorry. Wow, I got distracted. So please feel free to share your comments because we know it'll add value, have an impact on what we have to say. Now, disclaimer, we are recording this. And so while your comments will show up in the comment section, they won't show up in the feed. We won't be able to bring them up. And we will come back and respond to them afterwards. The other disclaimer that I'll add is that as we have this conversation, because we're talking about friends and family, we are not necessarily identifying any one person. This is sort of a general discussion about how it may impact you or your life. So for our friends and family who are out there, this is not about you, even though it may sound like it might be about you. Anyhow, at the end of our conversation, if we haven't alienated everyone in our family and friend group, we will offer our one thing, our today's antidote, that thing that we hope will help you figure out how to take your next step along your own unique pathway to success. Before we dive into that conversation, though, we are going to talk about celebrations. Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I'm going to celebrate something really personal. My cat finally is sleeping at this new place, which is so nice. He was staying up all night, taking in all the sounds, watching the cars drive by. And last night, he actually slept on the bed next to me all night.
Nice. I like that.
I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's nice when you don't hear cat noises when you're trying to sleep.
Very fair.
How about you?
I'm going to celebrate those emails that we get that we think that we don't want that at some point actually become valuable. You shared with me last week an email that you received about something that actually might add value to what we're trying to accomplish, even though you probably were ready to hit delete pretty quickly. And yet you took a moment to sort of check it out. So for those times when we take a moment to check something out, this is the opportunity. There might be opportunities inside of them. So I'm celebrating that we took that moment, had a discussion about it, and something that we think we're going to act on. So that's my celebration.
Nice.
Yes. All right. So you ready to have this conversation?
I'm ready, Tom. So help me understand, what is a superhero when we talk about the support of friends and family? Because I don't think I have one, at the risk of offending several people in my life.
So as I was thinking about what is a superhero, they kind of can take on anything and everything with sort of an unmatched comfort, confidence. with pretty much whatever comes in front of them, they're able to handle. And I think that, we've been talking
Professionally or personally or both?
all of the above, all of the above.
Okay.
And so I think that what happens is we have all these people around us, right, who try to provide some level of support. And we've talked about the opportunities and the obstacles that mentors have, that communities have, that peers have. That was all the last 3 weeks. So if that's something you'd like to learn more about, go back and listen to those episodes. This week, we're talking about friends and family. And I think so often in our friends and family, they really want what's best for us or whatever we want, right? They want to see us succeed. And so typically, as we've discussed, they don't always share what they might otherwise share. And I think the superhero is that person who will ask the question that needs to be asked, who will be there to celebrate with you, whether they really, that they might be more real about what's going on than others in our friend and family group. And so they're the person you kind of turn to when you're like, I know you know me a lot better than any community that I'm in, than any peer that I have. You just know me on a personal and professional level. And I'm coming to you with a challenge that I'm facing or an opportunity that I'm facing. And I know that you are going to respond not just the way you think I want to hear it, that you are going to come with all the challenging questions that might be asked, as well as the compassion and understanding, because we know each other on a different level.
So, Tom, did you describe that way? So I would say it is you for me, because that's my thought. Because you know me personally, you know me professionally, and you can straddle the line that when a professional thing comes up for me, you can tie it to the personal and say, hey, I know you've got this going on, or I know that you're prone to do this, in a way that there are other people in my life that know me personally, but don't know me as well professionally. And there are people that know me professionally that don't know me personally. You straddle both. So by your definition of a superhero, that would mean you fulfill that role for me. Am I making sense of that? Would you
Yes.
say you think you fulfill that role for me?
Here's the thing. I don't know. That would be my answer. Because I think only we know who our superhero is based on what we're looking for. And the ability
based on the way you described it, based on what you know about me, would you say you're my superhero?
I would say I could
so
potentially
folks,
fit that role.
before the program, Tom and I were talking about this, and I said, I don't have a superhero, and he kind of gave me a weird look. So now I say he's my superhero, and he's being all coy about it, and not saying that, yeah, you're right. Because of course, Tom doesn't want anything to be right or wrong, but in this case, it could be right. So you walked down this road. Now you got to go the rest of the way. I'm not letting you off the hook.
So I think that here's what I would say is I think that I understand a little bit I understand what's going on in you personally. I also understand what's going on for you professionally, to some degree. And based on that, even though I don't know everything that's going on in your personal life or everything that's going on in your professional life, I think that there are some things that makes that valuable. And we have a relationship where I am willing and you are willing to mostly tolerate most of the questions that I ask. Because I think I'm trying to truly help you figure it out, not just tell you what you want to hear.
And I think that's the role of the superhero, right? Is the person who helps you figure things out. And they're kind of a chameleon. One day they might be asking you the hard questions. The next day they're saying, you know what, it probably went better than you thought. And 100%. The next day they're saying, if you had any more of an ego, your head wouldn't fit through the door. And then 2 hours later, they're saying the opposite. And it's knowing which one needs to be said at that time, and also saying it with conviction and the person who's hearing it, recognizing that this person has enough of a knowledge base about you to be able to say that, not just like everyone says, oh, that was a great presentation. Oh, you're so amazing. That's nice to hear. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't really, at a certain point, you're like, okay, great.
At some point, you don't need that. You need something else. You need the person to say, yeah, they're all applauding. Let me share another perspective in a way that is helpful and trying to help you move forward. I think that's, like I share the story sometimes about, and I truly remember this. I was getting ready to do a presentation to an alumni board in one of my most recent roles. And I said, you know what, I was talking about it because this other person was going to be there in attendance as a part of it. And so I said, do you mind if I share this with you? Because I'm struggling with a couple of things. And we went through it. And there were parts where this person was like, you can't do that. That won't work. Or like, you lost me. I don't know where you're at. I don't know why this is of importance to me. The people in the room aren't going to be engaged. And I didn't take it as criticism. I took it as feedback that from someone who was really trying to help me. And they helped, they knew me in a different way. They knew a lot about my personal life as well as who I am as a person. They also knew a lot about me professionally and the role that I was in and what I was trying to accomplish. And so in those regards, they were truly the person who could provide feedback, to help me do what I needed to do to help make the event be a success. And I know that the presentation went many times different than it would have gone. And I think the impact that it had was more significant than it could have been. And I think that that's why they're a superhero, because they kind of know what you need when you need it. And I think also it's a superhero because they straddle both the personal and the professional. Now, as it turns out, I knew this person first as a professional. We became very close friends. And I would be included in this section rather than as a part of a peer, because I no longer looked at them as just a peer. They were more than a peer. We were friends. We did things outside of the office occasionally and had conversations about things that weren't just about work. And so that insight created a very different relationship and the impact that what they would share would have on me.
Okay. Are you ready for your one thing?
Sure.
Can I go first?
Of course.
I think I would say that if you have a superhero in your life, you're truly blessed. And if you're a superhero to someone, because we didn't really talk about that side of it much at all, it comes with great responsibility. And because you really do have a role with the person that very few have. And so with that comes the responsibility. So just if you're a superhero to someone and you may not even know you are.
That would be my one thing. I think superheroes don't even know that they're superheroes. Just like, we talked about, especially during the pandemic, nurses, first responders as all being superheroes. And so there's the saying of superheroes don't have to wear a cloak or an outfit. And I think that is part of my one thing is that they are out there. They likely don't even necessarily know that you see them in that light. They are just doing it because that's the relationship they have. And that's what's real for them. And it's only in our eyes that they see themselves as a superhero. I think that if they thought they were our superhero, they would act differently. And I think that would almost change the way it is looked at. It's kind of like when people call themselves experts. Yeah, I start to roll my eyes with that. If someone else says they're an expert, to me, that's a different, because that's someone else saying, this is what I see in you. Not just that you're telling me that you're an expert. Because no one is truly an expert. We know a lot about things. That doesn't mean we know it all.
Okay, nice.
Did that help you figure out?
It did.
Do you feel like you have a gap,
for the next couple weeks? But that's okay.
Do you feel like you have a gap, or that you're?
No, I'm good.
Okay?
I'm good. I
Okay.
understand, and I think you are that person to me.
Well, I'm not sure I would say that, even though I sort of implied that at the beginning as part of my sarcasm. The hard part when you're the straight guy, the guy who's not the comedian, people don't always understand when you're adding a little bit of comic relief and or skepticism, which
you and Fred Mertz struggling through.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way to get through it. All right, everyone, if you have one thing about who your family or friend's superhero is, if you have one, if you have other thoughts about what it might look like, please feel free to share it in the comments, especially if you're on the podcast where we know there are no comments. We would encourage you to join us in our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, where we are helping people figure out how to take their next step along their own unique pathway to success. So with that, I hope you go out and enjoy your day. Maybe have a conversation with your superhero if you get a chance, if you need it. Otherwise, go out and make it a great day.
Hey, and embrace the renegading you. It's so worth it. You might be a superhero to someone, and a renegade superhero.
Absolutely. Is there any other kind? All right, everyone, we'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.